All right, y'all. So today what we're going to talk about is why, well, number one, what happens with the connection between your brain and your body when you have a surgery, and what we're actually doing as we work those initial days. And I'm going to combine an example with it. So the example that I'm going to show is Vince Lewis. Shout out Vince. He got his TJ on December 28th, and so it's currently January 10th. So we're like 13 days post-op, and I'll just walk you through briefly some things that went on with him, and then explain kind of what's happening as like in the background of that, or the principle behind it, so that you understand what we're doing in terms of moving early on. So what I want to start with is before we get the surgery. So in the middle here is going to be the surgery, and we'll get to that. But before we get to that, the setup that we have is here we have brain, here we have body, and then we have feedback loops. So what that means is your brain sends information to your body sends information back. And through that process, this is a map. I don't know if it's a little sloppy, but that's a map. And so your brain literally has a map of your body in it, so that it knows what's happening at every different area that you have within your system, right? So it's literally like you move your big toe, that movement sends information up to the brain gets and processes that, or you get and process that, and then you respond, and then that's that loop that builds that map of that toe in your brain, and that happens for every area in your body. When we move in, we get surgery. What happens is we have a brain here, then we have the arm here. Let's say that in his instance, he got Tommy John. So we have his brain, we have his arm, and you can see that there's no feedback loop, because what the surgery essentially does is the setup that he had before, like his brain had a map. Let's say the map before was his arm like this. When he has this surgery, his arm, which is just arbitrary, but let's say his arm is now like that. His brain has not had time to have the feedback loops that this is what's currently happening. And so there is no map. The map is just like fuzzy, right? A fuzzy map, because he hasn't had no chance to be able to get information from and send information to that area. So he hasn't been able to literally like map it out. It's like the surgery went in and it rapidly changed the configuration. So he hasn't had time to map that out, because we haven't been using it or moving it. So, and what I want to get into is like something that can happen with that when we first start to move is your body may have a little bit of resistance or inhibition, or it might feel something like that when we first start, because it has no map. So it's going to try to lock down and protect you. That's the reason that it tries to lock down and protect you, is because it doesn't know what's going on. When those feedback loops, or when the configuration gets changed and there's no map, you don't know what's going on there. And so it's going to want to protect and lock you down, because your body wants to help you survive. And so practically, like what that looks like is, I'll walk up here and show you. See if we can keep the volume up so we can hear the feedback as well. So this is, and I wish the TV doesn't connect, so this is what we're doing. This is 5 days post-op. Let me see. Oh, there we go. So we'll go back and you can hear his comment at the start.
I don't know if I'm doing this wrong or what, but like this feels like fucking shit.
So, yeah, it doesn't feel good.
Oh shit.
Great communication there. And then later.
Okay, maybe I spoke too soon. It didn't feel that bad once I started videoing.
So even just like starting to move a little bit, it starts to feel better. But that was day one, or day 5 post-op, first day that we really started moving. This is the first day that we really started moving the elbow. You can just see like how little movement and range there is. Not all that much comfort. And then the feedback that he sent was this. So that day, arm definitely doesn't feel all that happy with me today, with the work that he did. So understand that the reason that might happen, it doesn't mean that something's bad. It doesn't mean that something's wrong, right? All it means is that we've taken this new configuration that you have, that you've been given, and we've started to ask your body to move it. And so its initial response is going to be like, I don't know what's going on. And so the response that I'm going to give very well could be a little bit of tightness and inhibition, because I'm trying to protect you from this thing that I don't understand and I don't know. But that process of actually getting to know it is moving it. Because now, like if we go to here, once we actually start to move it, like we see movement at the elbow here, once we start to move it, that movement sends information up. You're able to process that and respond, right? And then if we do that in a way in which you have good feedback that's going up, or good information that's going up, meaning it feels good, there's not a bunch of pain, you're not trying to force it through more than it's ready for, then the response to that is going to be like, okay, I understand what's happening here. I can start to map this out. Like the map starts to become clear again, and then you don't have to lock down, you don't have to protect that area, and it starts to open up. So we can show you, this next video was right here.
Lady Felix, well, but why? I prayed when I turn around there. I gave you sushi on meat fuck.
So you can see that the range is getting a little bit better there. And then this is, so I think that was January 3rd, and then this is the 8th, so this is now 2 days ago, which is 11 days post-op. So you can see how much that's opened up, and even the feedback here, this was Tuesday and Wednesday. Got my incisions clipped today, feeling great. Dude didn't even want to stretch me because my range of motion is so good. So that was after his visit to his PT. So it's just, the point is being able to show, like, at the start of any type of early on post-op training, right? This is essentially the process that's happening. And if we understand that, we can have a better relationship with any type of inhibition or pain or restriction that might pop up initially. Understand that it's simply because your body is wanting to protect you because of this new thing that has no map. Once we can start to map that out, then it can start to take those off and actually can start to allow you to move again. And it's simply part of that process. The pain isn't something that we have to be scared of. It's just something like be there, sit with it, understand that it's there, adjust as needed, and then know that your body is going to allow that to inhibit and come off as it starts to understand what's happening.